Today I'm joined by Joey Caps Gaming, of course. Joe, I wanted to get you on because, of course, some big news came out yesterday about Machine Games and Indiana Jones. What a huge property, huge license for Bethesda to get. And not only that, but Todd Howard is going to be the executive producer. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the game specifically, some of the things that I picked up from the trailer and saw that may tell us the time and place of the game. And then we'll talk maybe about whether you think this is going to be an exclusive or not. But I want to start right there with Todd Howard. How big is it to get Todd Howard as the executive producer? And why would they get him? Because, of course, he's from BGS coming over to Machine Games.
I don't know. I don't know why they would get him, but it's certainly not a mistake for him to be the executive producer, you know?
Do you know what his first game was to work on?
Wasn't it? It was a sports game, right?
His first game to pretty much be in charge of a team on, and my memory's terrible, but I think it was a Terminator game. Which was a
Terminator. He did that. Yeah,
that was a big license for Bethesda back then.
Yeah,
but there's no doubt he has a great track record in all kinds of games. But of course, the Elder Scrolls and Fallout is where we know him from. But it sounds to me like, and I don't know if Xbox made this decision. I don't know if it was a joint decision, but it sounds like they really want this game to be a success.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to jump into the exclusive talk right now, but I guess I may. Anytime. So if you don't mind. So I've seen a few things. I've seen that Bethesda already had this plan to make this game before they acquired Bethesda, or they were on the road to acquire. The deal is not done yet. But so then with that being said, the game might not be an exclusive. I mean, it still could be, but it's just there's a chance that it's not. And I know that sounds silly because, you know, there's a chance, there's always a chance.
Well, but that's a big deal. Go ahead.
It's not a clear cut. I think it should be, though. Personally, I think it should be an exclusive. Yeah, especially since it's comparable to Uncharted, if you will, like that setting. So I feel that Sony has Uncharted, Xbox could have Indiana Jones. Why not?
And this is a license that if they do halfway good at it, you're going to have a sequel to. And another interesting fact that I don't know if many people have thought about, but there is going to be a new Indiana Jones movie. Yeah, part 5, if you're counting, coming out very soon. So I wonder if they're going to, say release the movie and the game about the same time.
Yeah. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, though, with the movie?
It's according if it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little history because I know this is before your time, Joe.
Yeah.
But Indiana Jones goes all the way back to 1981.
Whoa! Yes. 11 years before me! Wow!
First Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was the first one.
Wow.
And yes, I watched it in the theater. That's showing my age. Was in 1981. I think the next one was in 84. And then, of course, we had one recently that we don't talk about, part 4. But if you know anything about the series at all, of course, Harrison Ford, the lead character, is an archaeologist. He's also a school teacher, and it's set back in the 30s and 40s. Now, here's your history. Raiders of the Lost Ark was set in 1936. Of course, you see Nazis in the movie. It's right before World War II. Interesting thing, the plane ticket on the table in the trailer says Rome 1937. So this is going to be 1 year, it appears. The game is going to be 1 year after Raiders of the Lost Ark. So in between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom, I think, was the second one.
That's cool.
Yeah. And it appears it's going to be set in Rome because the big map that is sitting there is actually Vatican City in Rome. So that gives you the time and the place that it appears they're really hinting about in the trailer where the game's going to be. Now, what's going to be going on? What's Indiana Jones going to be doing? I'm sure he's going to be doing something with the Nazis again. They're going to be the bad guys in it. But it's really going to be interesting. I think the Vatican's got a lot of secret places underground. So maybe a lot of it's going to be a dungeon crawl. That's a good reason to get Todd Howard.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that it could be an open world game? Or no?
Probably not with machine games.
But
it may have open parts. Because
I was thinking that too with machine games, but then that might be the reason why Todd Howard's on board.
Their last game, Wolfenstein Youngblood, which wasn't very well received, but it had some open parts. It had much more open world than any of the other Wolfenstein games. But of course, Arcane Studio helped them a little bit on that. But that's the neat thing about Bethesda, though. You don't know who's going to be helping machine games. And if you've got Todd Howard,
that's the thing. You got Todd Howard.
Yeah, anybody you ask, anybody he asks is going to come in and help.
You got Todd Howard. So I mean that's why, even though you do have Machine Games there, who's the developer of the game, you have Todd Howard though as the executive producer. So I feel like maybe that's why he's there, because they're trying to take this shot and making it more of an open world game. It wouldn't shock me is all.
Absolutely.
If they went in that direction, just from the simple fact that Todd Howard is the executive producer.
Even Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, had more open areas than the first
New Order?
Wolfenstein. Yeah. So I can see them moving in that direction, at least to where there's open places in the world. But I think it'll be pretty much a first person. I think it's going to be, I mean, you've got, the style would be the Tomb Raider, or you mentioned
Uncharted.
And I think they'll probably, I talked about it being a dungeon crawl just a minute ago. I'm sure with it being centrally set in Rome, you're going to get some beautiful places inside and out. Think about that just before World War II in Europe. Boy, there's...
Yeah, wow. Yeah. It's going to be a good one. And I feel like, especially, I'll say it again, Todd Howard's on board. It's got to be a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, when did Todd Howard come out with a bad game? Like a game was really bad that was attached to his name.
You've said that a lot.
When did it happen? It hasn't.
No.
So and Machine Games is they're good at what they do as well. I mean, I didn't play Youngblood, so I don't know. But I mean, you have Todd Howard on board, so it's gonna be good. It's got to be good. If it's not, I'm gonna cry.
A real quick question, and then we'll put Todd Howard to bed. We'll take him in. It's past his
Toddy boy, yeah.
How much do you think he's going to be working on this? And the reason I say that is because this is actually good news. This is a whole other podcast, but I think this is great news for Starfield. I think that means Starfield's done. His part on Starfield's done, and he's probably already working on this if you hadn't probably knew behind the scenes, or he's about to start working on this. But what does that mean in regards to the Elder Scrolls? Do you think he can get this game done while the DLCs are coming out for Starfield, and then he could work on the Elder Scrolls?
That's the issue I feel right now with Starfield. It's like, okay, great. Maybe Starfield is coming out this year. Maybe it's finished.
It is.
But then it's like, okay, now he's supposed to start working on Elder Scrolls, but he's working on Indiana Jones.
Do you think he might work on both at the same time?
Could he? Now, I mentioned this in my video. Could he be spreading himself too thin? Could he? Because we don't know when Indiana Jones is going to come out. We have absolutely no idea. Now, when is that movie slated to come out? Do you know? Part 5?
I believe it's supposed to be 2021. So
Oh, wow. So I don't think Indiana Jones will come out this year, because if it did, that would be really quick. Maybe they've been working on it. I
But
have no idea. I have no knowledge of the situation.
before you finish that, Todd Howard's involved. You know what Todd Howard said about revealing a game too
Yeah,
early.
true. Yeah.
Why would they?
Yeah.
Why would they say anything if it's
But
way
then
off?
but then the issue then would be, then it comes back to saying, all right, what about Starfield then? Did Starfield get neglected? Or does Todd Howard not have as much does not have his hands in it as much as we think?
Right.
Like with Starfield or with Elder Scrolls 6.
A real quick point, maybe Todd's about to move up now that they're under Xbox. Maybe he's going to be kind of like the overseer of all of Bethesda. That would be kind of interesting. That's just right off the top of my head. But,
Yeah, I hope not.
I mean, he's
Not like not that I don't want him promoted. Like, good for him. God bless.
But
I just mean,
for this
like,
time, Joe, and I know exactly what you're talking about. But for this time period, he's going to be overseeing Machine Games' project and Bethesda Game Studios.
BGS. Yeah, that's true. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just stay with BGS, man. Just focus with BGS. I still want Fallout 5 in like 10 years. I still want that, and I want his vision there too. So please stay. But if he doesn't stay, it is what it is.
Let's talk a little bit more about what the game may be and what we want out of it. I actually heard someone else discussing this already. Do you think it's going to be a first-person game or a third-person game? Let me give you a little facts so you can be thinking about it. Machine Games makes great first-person shooters, of course, with the Wolfenstein series that we mainly think about. But this kind of game, the two we mentioned, Tomb Raider and I keep forgetting the other one.
Uncharted.
Thank you, Uncharted. I was going Drake's Fortune. Oh, that's one of the titles. Anyway.
Yeah.
I believe both of those are third-person games, are they not? I know Tomb Raider is.
Yeah. Uncharted's third person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, do you want to see the iconic Indiana Jones the whole time you're playing? Or do you want first-person? Or is it going to be like Skyrim where you can switch back and forth? I mean, that would be awesome, but...
I would think it would be third person. Well, what's the point of having Indiana Jones in the game if you can't see him?
You're going to keep seeing that hat, and,
and
you're going to get.
I want to see him.
That whip.
I want to be able. I want to be able to change the color of my hat, color of my whip. I want to be able to do something, and I want to be able to see it. So I want to see my blue hat with my purple whip. But
as far as the actual gameplay goes, I don't know if you know. Again, I'm dating myself, but do you remember the old game Temple Run? I think it was one of the first iPhone games. But
I'm sorry to your subscribers if they know, but I do not. I'm
fine.
sorry.
No, that's fine. Pitfall. Have you ever heard of Pitfall? They're kind of the same type deal. And you've got this guy that's running through the jungle. He has a whip. And, of course, he can whip the snakes with it, or he can use it to swing across things. So it's really an Indiana Jones-looking thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the kind of quick-paced, almost, and not as quick as Doom, but a quick-paced first-person shooter type, but with that kind of gameplay? Does that sound interesting first, or do you want something else out of this game?
I don't want that. I would like a third person open world-ish. Not really open world, but I have a little bit of freedom. I don't want the first person quick thing going on. It's not what I want. I want to be able to explore, possibly, if there's any reason to explore in this game. I would like to do that. I think it would be cool to explore Rome, right? It would be cool.
As Indiana Jones. I mean,
as Indiana Jones. As Indiana Jones. Listen, we've had a lot of RPGs in recent memory. I'm not saying that this will be an RPG, but we have had a lot of RPGs like Red Dead, The Witcher, even Cyberpunk, to have named players that, like you can't name your player. You have to play as Arthur Morgan, in Red Dead. You have to play as Geralt, I think. That's how you pronounce it. Yeah. You have to play as him, but you could just take it upon yourself to role play from there. So that's what I maybe it could be that. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying that it should, but I would like it. I would like it to be that way. And maybe that's why they have Toddy Boy on. Maybe.
It does not always work this way, but this is a good thing to think about. The more you open the world, the longer the game's going to take to make.
Yeah.
And normally these type games don't necessarily have the 4 and 5 year turnaround that BGS has. So I do look for it to be a first person type, or a first or third person, but a more linear game. But I do hope there is some. I love the idea about exploring. I mean, you have to explore as Indiana Jones. Well,
I'm sorry. It's just why bring Todd Howard on board? That's all I want to know. What's the point? I mean, what's his duty? What are his duties as executive producers? He just overseeing. Oh yeah, Jonathan, you're doing good, buddy. Oh, Harold, you're doing fantastic. Oh, Carol over there, you're doing great. Like, is that all it is, or is he gonna be like, hey, listen, maybe if we should go in this direction, open world, this direction, and I'll drive or you drive, and I'll tell you where to go.
I think,
maybe it's something like that. I don't know if I made any sense.
No, absolutely. Most times the executive producer, he is in charge, and he does a lot more than just. I don't think he's going to be there. I don't think he would put his name to anything that he wasn't involved in. So I believe the whole design of the game's going to be. He's going to have a huge impact on it, and maybe they did this because their last game with Youngblood was not that well received.
Maybe.
To me, it had so much potential. It just was. It seemed rushed. It seemed kind of. I hate to use the word cheaply, but it almost was like cheaply made. It was almost like watching a B movie instead of a. Major run movie. Yeah, it really was.
Wow. I mean, I played the first game, the Wolfenstein New Order.
Yeah, those are
great. That was great. So for you to say that about Youngblood, how was Old Blood? How was that one?
That's just the DLC.
That's the third one. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Was that good?
The third one hasn't been made yet.
Well, Wolfenstein 3,
Wolfenstein
3 hasn't been made. No.
That was kind of like a half game, was what that was. But
Old Blood,
Old Blood. That's great. The new Colossus is great. I like the first two better, but all of them are great. All of them are great games. I think Machine Games is an excellent studio. This is exciting. This is very exciting for me. As I said, I was sitting there in the movie theater in 1981, so I am a true fan of Indiana Jones. It's like Han Solo's running from an orange. Anyway, do you have anything else to say about? I wanted to keep this video a little bit shorter, but do you have anything else to talk about Indiana Jones?
One more thing, yes, I actually do.
Please,
now, I've never seen any of the movies. I haven't. Okay. I haven't. My wife has, and she really liked the first one. She was like, it was really cool. We should watch it. I'm like, okay, we will. But have you ever played King? And anybody else in your comments, have you guys ever played the Xbox 360 version of the Indiana Lego game?
Yes, I actually have.
Yeah, I played that too. Yeah. It came free with my Xbox. That and Kung Fu Panda.
You can use that whip in that game, yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. I mean, it was a Lego game, but it wasn't bad.
Yep.
So I just wanted to get that in. That's all I got.
Before the game comes out, you've got to watch the movies. The first one and the third one,
I'll watch them for you.
Are the best, but
I'll watch them for you. Yeah.
They're all good except for the last one. And it's,
Do you need to watch the last one?
No. I don't. They're probably going to deny they ever made that one.
That's the Fallout Brotherhood of Steel of the franchise. That's it.
It's not canon. Ignore that one.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Well, real quick, I did want to ask you: do you think it's possible that they get Harrison Ford to do the voice in the game?
Didn't he hurt himself on the set of Star Wars? Is that what happened? No. Did I just listen to a video that was silly?
I don't know. May have. He's getting on up there.
Someone made a joke that if he was like on the set of Star Wars or wherever, that he would hurt himself by just eating a protein bar. Or by just having lunch.
He's right at 80 years old, so
God bless him. Yeah. Leave him alone at that point.
But he is doing a new Indiana Jones movie.
God bless him. Hey, if he wants to do it and if he can do it, then he can do it.
Yeah, I don't see them using him as a voice just because if they make a part 2, probably not, But it would be awesome to get Harrison Ford to do the voice. So. Well, Joe, thank you for joining me. I always love when you come over to my channel. If y'all are not subscribed to Joey Caps Gaming, he is a legend. Y'all subscribe. That's right. Watch all of his videos twice and like them.
Do it.
Do it.
Thanks, gang. It's a blast all the time. It's a blast. I love it.
All right.
I love it here.
I love it here. Well, you can stay anytime you want.
All right. Yeah.
Well, y'all come back. You hear? Thank y'all for being here. Bye, guys.